This entire telecast, ladies and gentlemen, is just was designed just to spark the imagination or re-spark the imagination. We forget, when I say re-spark, we forget that Indonesia is actually a neighboring country from the Andaman Nicobar Islands. It's less than 500 nautical miles to Aceh. And for a lot of people who travel to Bali, which is of course a great tourist destination, and we sort of know that, there's a Ramayana out there, but we don't understand that the Lord Ganesh is just part and parcel of Balinese life. It's in every home. And it's a very strange realization to have that it is so familiar, because the roots are so connected over so many millennia, and we need to rediscover all of that. It will be for the good of the world. That rediscovery, that reconnection, that familiarity, that comfort that comes from that familiarity, the shared history, the shared tradition, the shared stories. Speaking of which, let's hop across to Bali in Indonesia, where Putu Adi Bardhawan is joining us on the broadcast. Thank you so much for doing this special report for us from Bali. Let me just ask you, I was telling the story of Lord Ganesh. Putu, when in terms of Ganesh and Shiva and Vishnu, what is your understanding in Bali of these sort of quote-unquote deities or legends and stories from India?
In Bali, we has a Shivaism concept.
Right.
The first one, Shivaism concept. That's right. Shiva, Dev, has to be the big Dev in Bali, and then the other Dev has like a breaking down like that, and then the popular Dev in Bali we call Shiva.
Interesting. So Lord Shiva, I'm told there is something, and forgive my pronunciation, Kecak or Kecak dance, which is done in Bali, which I'm told is based on the Ramayana. Can you tell us a bit about it, please?
The composer to produce the Kecak dance is inspired by gamelan. Balinese gamelan, right? But okay. The composer bring the gamelan to the Kecak dance without instrument. In Kecak dance, instrument only vocal verbal with the mood, only like that. That's the vocal verbal produce the melodies and like that. And for the Ramayana story, it's a combine. The Ramayana story is not only there's in the Kecak dance in the Balinese gamelan traditional, there is a Ramayana story as well. So okay. Ramayana story is a combined with the Kecak dance to telling about the how Ramayana learn about the life to do writing in this world.
Okay.
Like that.
So what is then your understanding of the story of Ramayana in Indonesia? How is it absorbed, and what moral lessons are drawn to this day in modern Bali?
The main story in Ramayana, that is Satya Yuga. We are in Bali understanding about a 4 era, okay? Kerta Yuga, Satya Yuga, Dvipada Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Ramayana in Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga is the spiritual people is many more than not do spiritual. So, but the spiritual is learn about the love, about the respect. The Sita and Rahwana and the Rama is the symbolic. If you are not respect, your attitude like a Rahwana, right? When you are do respect and love, your attitude and you doing like a Rama, like that. Okay. So in Ramayana, I learn about the love and respect, and to get the peace and to get the good spiritual condition in our soul, like that. It's not about love story. When you say I love you to your girlfriend, it's not like that. That's the learning about the love and respect to humanity.
All right. Okay. So now, to the best of my understanding, you're standing in front of what is the Pura Besakih Temple there in Bali. So I know that you filed a report for us. Let's just take a chance to listen into that report and then open up this conversation to live guests joining us from Indonesia. Let's listen to that report.
Every evening in the heart of Bali, Indonesia, tourists from across the world come together to witness the marvelous Kecak dance, the Balinese adaptation of the Hindu epic Ramayana. The Kecak dance is a reminder of the preservation of the strong roots of Hinduism in the Muslim-majority island nation of Indonesia, where stories of both the Mahabharata and the Ramayana can be traced back to the 1st and 8th centuries respectively. Today, they remain alive in Balinese culture through art, music and dance. Known as the city of temples, Bali is home to some of the world's most famous and ancient Hindu mandirs. Today, NewsX takes you for the first time to the Pura Besakih Temple in Bali, Indonesia. Nestled on the slopes of Mount Agung, the Pura Besakih is the largest and most important temple in Balinese Hinduism.
Everybody, Om Swastiastu. Today, we are in the mother of the temple in Bali. We call Besakih Temple. Right now, I am here in the outside of the Besakih Temple. You can see at the background, that's one. The main gate in the temple over there. We must be going up, and then around of here, this the outside place in the Besakih Temple. You can see around. There is some part for the small temple, the beside of the main temple of the Besakih, like that. So, the Besakih Temple located in Rendang, Karangasem. If you stay in Ubud, you can go from Ubud in 2 hours from Ubud, arrive in Besakih Temple, like that. And you will pass the Kintamani and then the Batur Temple as well. From the Batur to Besakih Temple, you take the time in 1 hour. The highway is very quiet, and during on the road you will see a lot of the tree the beside, and the road is very quiet, very calm down, and the weather is very good. And you can see, guys, my behind, that's the Besakih Temple, and I will explain about the architecture and then the history of the Besakih Temple. My life space is the first space where we familiar name is Rishi Markandeya. Once arrival in Bali, he stay and put 5 stones we call a Panchadatu. Let's go. We see where the guys. We can see this place, this point. You can close this point. You can shoot the prasasti behind me. This point is the first arrival Rishi Markandeya when arrived in Bali. He's put the 5 stones we call Panchadatu. The Panchadatu is the fundamental of the building, like a temple and then the Bali island, to make a sustain and then to make a balance thing for the living life people in Bali, like that. Before he do Panchadatu, put the ground, the Bali island. The Bali island is not balanced. Is not balanced, and the island is like floating, like a floating island, like that. It can be strong, and the island cannot stay too long, like that. So the Rishi Markandeya make her and then put 5 stones before build and make Besakih Temple, like that. Here you can see this point. The Panchadatu is gold, silver, and perunggu, and tembaga, titanium, and then iron. like that, stone iron. Okay, for the next we go to main gate in the middle of the Besakih Temple. Let's go.
A World Heritage Site, the Pura Besakih Temple is a complex of 23 temples with step terraces and flights of stairs that ascend to several courtyards.
Everybody, my behind you can see this leader is the main gate entrance to the Besakih Temple. Okay, inside we will see the big statue we call Padma Tiga. Inside at the main gate I will explain about the first one is history of the Besakih Temple, and then what is the Padma Tiga, and then who is the god stay in Besakih Temple. Okay, let's go.
We're now headed to the main spire or the Meru structure known as the Pura Penataran Anung.
This ladder is the signature of the Besakih Temple. If you see in the internet or photo, this ladder is iconic, very, very iconic. And then the architecture is produced from the local people, Balinese people. We are right now here at the second gate in Besakih Temple. My behind, with the big gate, you can see this tall about 30 meter, right? 30 meter high. This gate, the behind of the gate is already the main gate of the Besakih Temple. You can see the architecture made from the Balinese people. Very, very beautiful like this. The material is from stone volcano of Agung Mountain. Okay, the Agung Mountain is beside of the Besakih Temple. Because the weather right now, little bit like a shadow, little bit sun, a few sun, so the mountain Agung of cover it. Okay, so let's go. I will show you the detail of the material of the gate in Besakih Temple. Black stone like this. It's a very, very strong material and a very, very hard, right? You can see the cover is not too flat. You will see small hole every part at the stone, but this quality is very strong. Okay, from the first of the building Besakih Temple, the material is the same from the volcano stone, the Agung Mountain volcano in 1916. That's the second volcano. And Bali, when the Agung Mountain is very, very like, the situation is not, you cannot imagine when the Agung Mountain is volcano. You can see, you can imagine about that. But after that, the Balinese people is growing up very, very good, and we get the material like this. Okay, so at the second gate, we are finished. And right now, I will bring you to the main gate of Besakih Temple. Let's go. Swastiastu. Yeah. That's one. You can see the biggest mountain in Bali, Agung Mountain, is over there. You are very lucky. Can see with a good weather like this.
The symbolic center of the main sanctuary is the Padmasana, or the Lotus Throne derived from Sanskrit. It dates back to the 17th century, and it is the ritual focus of the entire temple complex. The Lotus Throne in the form of a tower crowned with an empty throne to worship Ida Sanghyang, a manifestation of the supreme god in Balinese Hindu.
Right now I am at the main gate in Besakih Temple. In this area, you can see over there the three big statues, and I will explain the little bit history, okay, short story. What's the Besakih Temple is a build. This place, this point, the first time Rasi Markandeya get a revelation from the God, like the part of the pioneer of the Hindu Dharma in Bali until this area right now that's in Bali if you come to Bali, right? And then the big statue at the big hand is we call Padma Tiga. Padma Tiga symbolic is from three Purusa. Three Purusa, he's Shiva, Sada Shiva, and Parama Shiva. Okay, and three Purusa, it means of the three level awareness of the spiritual, like that. The big place in main gate is a very the biggest between the other temple round of the Besakih.
Dating back centuries, the Pura Besakih Temple is regarded as a central temple to Hinduism in Bali, representing the Balinese Hindu belief of three Hita Kirana, meaning life on earth must be lived in harmony and balance between man, society, nature and God. Bureau Report, NewsX.
All right. Thank you for that lovely report, very detailed about the Besakih Temple. Let me now hop across to Dr. Dharmasya. Dr. Dharmasya is a priest and author. He's based out of Indonesia, joining us on the broadcast live. Dr. Dharmasya, welcome to NewsX. Can you tell us where you're based out of, sir?
Now I'm in Malta. I'm from Bali, Indonesia, but I'm now in Malta.
Okay, I see a Bhagavad Gita Jayanti poster behind you. What is that about, sir? It says 2021.
We celebrate Bhagavad Gita Jayanti every year with 35 countries people joined it. It's a big gathering.
Okay, so what are the cultural roots here, sir? Because for people watching the broadcast, despite the later controversies, the first president of Indonesia, of independent Indonesia, was Sukarno. And he had a daughter, and the daughter's name was Sukarno Putri. Now, anybody who understands the basics of Hindi and Sanskrit knows Putri means daughter. The Garuda is part of the national emblem of Indonesia, which of course is a Muslim majority country. So what are the linkages, sir, that you've experienced growing up in Bali?
We go to the all this what we can find about the relationship between India and Indonesia. That is in Ramayana Valmiki. It means more than 7,000 years ago, the relationship of India and Indonesia already there. So we found in Yudhakanda of Ramayana Valmiki that when Sugriva sent the dutas to find out whereabout Sita all over the world, and when Sugriva sent the dutas, Vanara dutas, to southern side, Sugriva said, guided them, Yatna Vantu Java Dvipam, Saptaraju Pasubhitam. You go to the Java Dvip. There you will find 7 kingdoms and etc. etc. He explained about how people live there, etc. etc. So the relationship between India and Indonesia, all this maybe we can say that is more than 7,000 years ago.
Okay, so for people watching the broadcast, even the name Indonesia, right? It comes from the Greek India, and Nesia, of course, means islands. But do we understand it in a modern context, Dr. Dharmasya? For you growing up, the stories of Ramayana or the folklore of Shiva or Vishnu or the Garuda, how well were these known to you, sir?
It's our blood, it's our culture, our everything. We have this all Sanskrit and nowadays you can see Hindu, but it's Sanatana, it's a tradition. We have this in our blood, and even many of us accepted not Hindu, non-Hindus, they are still practicing some meditation, or many of them they still doing dasanskar, cremation. It's our blood, and the Sanskrit is everywhere. The names of the street, the name of the shop, the name of people. It's Sanskrit, and even in government principle guidance, we use Sanskrit.
Really? Fascinating. So what do we do, sir? I think now Bali, of course, there a lot of Indians travel, but for Indonesians coming to India to see the cultural links, how do we promote this? How do we take it further, sir?
This is very good. So, I used to say that we no need to go through religious way, but we go through art and culture. That will be the best way to reconnect India and Indonesia. And when we reconnect India and Indonesia through art and culture, it's everything will be inside of this. For example, Ramayana, Mahabharata. So in Ramayana, everything are there. We can learn so many things. Everything will guide us. As we have in our life, there are three parts of our life: material life, and the second is religious life, and the third is spiritual life. These three we can get, and we can be guided by Ramayana and Mahabharata.
So what is the
art and culture?
Okay, so what is the buzz or the view or even the awareness of people back home in Bali, sir, friends and family, about this Ayodhya Ram Temple inauguration which is happening?
It's a great news. It's a great news, and it's not only the celebration of India, but it's our celebration. It's a great news, and we understand this as the starting point of the showing of the greatness of Bharata, of India. So this is a starting point as a message that India may become the guru for the world through this Ramayana, but not to bring Ramayana into the religious way, but through art and culture. And if they manage to bring Ayodhya as the center for the world, for the culture and art, and people will come there, and the Ayodhya will become the Sa Prathama Vishwara. And from Ayodhya, it's spreading out to all over the world, all kind of good messages.
Okay. All right. Appreciate your time for joining us on this telecast. Ladies and gentlemen, we've taken you, hopefully, through an interesting journey in the span of the past couple of hours, tracing with reports, because you can talk about it, you can show the photographs, but when you have people there who are touching it, feeling it, who are locals, who are reflecting how they absorb it, it's a completely different ambience of how we can relate to it. Dr. Dharmasya, thank you very much for joining us. All the best as you also partake in your own way in the Ram Temple inauguration in Ayodhya. Our special telecast on this themology concludes.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.